Hello, and welcome to another episode of Houston Moms on the Move, except with a twist. Because this month is Father's Day. And so, as we do, we are doing Houston Dads on the Move. So, yes, we want to take, at least 1 month out of the year to recognize the dads who help with these babies and forming life. And when I was thinking about guests that I wanted to have for this 1 month, Ralph Garcia came to mind. He has been a longtime friend of mine. Well, I say long time, it feels like a long time, but probably 2 to 3 years. Um, and Ralph Garcia is the executive producer for Great Day Houston on KHU. Ralph, thank you so much for being here.
And Megan, I'm so honored to be here. And in 2 or 3 years, it feels like 3 to 4 years to me. I mean, that's how long, so
It may be. I don't know. My timeline gets messed up.
same, same. Post COVID, it's like I don't even know what a year is really. But no, I'm honored to be here. A dad is a role that I wear like a badge of honor. And yeah, I have three kiddos, ages 8, 5, and 2. Rafael, Jude, and Cece in that order. And man, being a dad being a parent is it's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. And what you do on the daily is a lot of work. And I've seen, kind of this beautiful, like, tapestry that y'all, like, this choreography that y'all do on your actual, like, job, like, at Great Day. But then you are this dad that comes home and shines. And the reason you caught my attention is because I started watching your Facebook, like, or I guess we became Facebook friends.
Yeah.
And I saw these videos and interviews that you were putting up with your kids. How did that come about?
It came about organically. So for the record, let me tell you what I do. So
Yes.
every birthday, when a kid turns 3, they get an interview, and then subsequently every year after that, I'm saying till 18, every year after that, they get an interview on their birthday. And then I do an end of the year video with all the kids. And that's just like, hey, what happened this year? So
What?
my children are well documented. I'm a content creator. That word, those words weren't around when I started doing this, but now,
I know.
yeah, just a producer, content creator, and by heart. And I just wanted well documented childhoods for them, without being too much. We're not like vloggers or personalities or anything like that. And when our shows are just for our friends. Um,
Yeah.
but I just started recording Rafael when he turned 3, and it was hilarious. And then I did it again the next year, and then I had Jude, and so that's the game plan now. And we watch him now, even 4 or 5 years back with Rafael, and it is so hilarious. And he gets a little embarrassed, but it's amazing.
Well, and because it's their little voices.
Yeah.
And I saw something at, oh gosh, I was probably scrolling the gram just this morning, scrolling the Instagram as I do. And a dad was, I'm just gonna plant this for your baby girl. A dad was dancing the first dance at her wedding
Oh,
to a recording of her saying what she wanted for her wedding and
oh,
what she like in this sweet little voice. And now she's this grown-up girl,
yeah.
and her dad was giving her feedback on, like, and it was just, I
Megan,
mean,
you're gonna get me emotional here at the
I
top of the
know,
podcast because we start talking about my baby girl. So
I
I try
know.
not to put too much of. I don't want it to be overly planned
Yeah,
in that aspect. But what you're saying is right on point. I want them to know who they are through their life, but we keep it light. We don't get real serious on it. I just want them
yeah.
to know, we're kind of silly. But that's a beautiful moment, and I'm gonna have to find that because that's an amazing thing.
I will find it and I will send it to you. I can't, how the algorithm is, but I will send it to you. It was beautiful, and I thought of you immediately. I was like, what a perfect thing to pop up, because I do love how you document that. Now, we've kind of chatted. By the way, Ralph, just get out of the way. Your alma mater is
Yeah, we're Fighting Texas Aggie. and gig 'em, whoop, all the stuff. But yeah, but I'm friends with anybody that goes to any school, especially our Texas schools. Maybe,
Yeah.
possibly. There's maybe one I don't like that much, but that's okay.
It's fine. And so we've kind of bonded over because my husband is an Aggie as well. And so,
Yeah.
I can give you a hard time because I'm married to one. It is what it is. Um, but okay. So being Texas Aggie, I've kind of gently teased you that maybe babies came a little later in our life. Like you're a little more, can we say a seasoned father?
Sure, sure. We can all see the gray in my beard. Let's call it what
Stop.
it is. No, I'm an older dad, and we've never talked about this, but let me just share or overshare, as the kids say. My
Yeah.
mom and dad were teen parents. My mom had me at age 17, and so at that age they needed a lot of help. Well, let me work backwards. My mom and dad and we all have wonderful relationships. But they got married young because they had me and it was the right thing to do. And so they got married. That marriage didn't last very long, divorced, and my dad got remarried a couple times. But I can't imagine, Megan, and I'm curious what you think as well, like being a parent, the age my kids are right now, my dad and mom were 25, 26, maybe younger. And so there's a
Yeah.
lot, I remember what those years are like. There's a lot of just trying to figure out who you are, just trying to find a job and a career that works for you. So all those were challenges for our family, but I had the big warm hug of grandparents and aunts and uncles. And so, I don't feel like my childhood lacked anything, but looking back from this perspective, I realized that I might have waited a minute until I was completely ready and overcompensated that way. So I got a later start, and there might be some pop psychology in there as to why that happened.
So, but do you ever, and I think this is an interesting question because are you ever really ready though?
Yeah, no,
Like you kind of like think but like, are you ready?
I agree that there's no manual to being parent, and I want to get this out of the way because at some point this podcast will end, and I just want to say this because there's one thing I wanted to say is just all the parents out there, you're doing a good job,
Oh,
because sometimes there's nothing really to compare to. There's social media and there's what your friends say, but there's no manual. You don't know, if you wake up and your kids are there and they say I love you and they're fed and they get to school and they come back and they, have fun on the weekend, like you're doing a good job. So just that's I tell my friends that and anybody that'll listen, like it's a hard job, so don't be so hard on yourself. And I really maybe just telling myself that because the kids are challenging at times. And I totally lost track of your question. What was your question there? I messed up.
no, you're good. No, I love that. And I think we all need that confirmation that, I think when we show up.
Yeah,
And we're doing things out of love, that we are doing the very best thing we can. And we don't get it right all the time.
yeah.
Um, so
Oh, I know what it was. I'm sorry. You said, "Are you
oh,
ever ready?" And I think I agree with you that you are never ready because when I got there at
yeah.
30, had my first kid at 39, I'm just learning like everybody else. But I will say that I had a career. I'd made a bunch of mistakes, so I had some wisdom. Mistakes that were normal mistakes, like I wasn't in prison or anything, I guess, but those are bigger mistakes. Um, but I was able to at least not worry about that part of it, which nothing to my parents' fault. They love me more than life itself, but those were challenges financially that they had that
Mhm.
we had to kind of get through together.
Yeah. So, I mean, so I kind of have similar a little bit. Like, our babies came later in life for us. I mean, I say later in life. I had a lot of friends who just like did the whole 24, 25 thing, you know?
And you're 28 now, so I mean, you're a few years after them, so yeah.
Yes, just a few years removed.
Yeah, yeah.
And um, and then we had to do in vitro for our babies, and I've been pretty like open about that journey. Um, and I just remember lamenting one day to my best friend, I'm like, God, it's like Like this was before like insurance wasn't covering anything
Yeah.
and whatnot. And she had had a baby the year before. She's like, you're going to be paying for them anyway for like 18 years. And so, like, or
Yeah.
more. And so, this is just, it's a little earlier down payment than you thought. Um, and, here you go. And so, um, you know,
Well, I think there are pros and cons to everything because, first of all, I mean, that's a very personal journey. Thank you for sharing that. And
yeah,
with that journey comes a lot of thoughts. And sometimes, should I have done this? Should I, I mean, there's a lot of that. And I think everybody can go through those thoughts. But on my end, I'm constantly trying to like stretch and keep myself in shape because I want to play sports with my kids. And I do, but, I want to
yes.
run full court basketball with Rafael. He's 8, I'm 48. That means, I got to stay in shape for the next 5 years. And every time I get like an ankle sprain or something, I'm like, should I have had kids earlier? Megan, I asked myself that. But, depending on anybody listening to this, what your North Star is, what your faith is, I try not to put all that in my hands because it's so heavy. And I just
Yeah.
tell myself that things happen like they were supposed to happen.
And they so do. And the kids come on their time.
Sure.
And when it is appropriate and right. But I think I commented on one of your videos you were playing basketball.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
like actual and I was worried for you.
Yeah, and you said you should be because I play like people pay me to play and they don't, and so I'm always trying really hard. But I know but I'm
There was
hanging
just
in there.
no, I'm so and I was so glad to see it, but it was so like it was not funny but kind of funny.
I got knocked down, yeah, but like a
Ralph
six
got
foot five
hit
guy, yeah,
by this huge guy
yeah.
and bounced, I think, into the backboard and then walked up and looked at his arm like he was surprised he
What?
still had an arm.
Yeah, I sprained my wrist a little bit, and yeah, well, first of all, I made that shot, so it was an and one,
You did make it.
and then yeah, he didn't mean to do that. He was just trying to block my shot. But I will say, on talking about age of parents, my wife is 8 years younger than me, so there's biology involved in this. So I'm grateful that we found each other and that she was ready at a quote unquote average age to have start a family and start having children and planning those processes.
Yeah. And so you were telling me earlier, so you have a demanding job, for sure. And your wife does what?
Yeah, she's a middle school counselor. And
Okay.
so she was a high school counselor and now she's a middle school counselor. And so she deals with kids at during at work and then she comes home and deals with our children. So and I'm gonna start giving some shout outs. I have a
Yeah.
commanding job at Great Day Houston here at KHO11, and we just have a fantastic team, starting with Deborah Duncan and all of our producers and photographers and editors. So TV is kind of a team sport. Nobody does anything alone, and we're all in on it. We're all in on it. And then at the home side, so I'm just trying to paint the picture of how blessed I am. Julie is an amazing partner. She does a lot of the heavy lifting in the mornings because she starts work a little bit later, and I have to get here early because we have a morning show.
Yeah.
But I do my part. I wake up, I do breakfast for the kiddos every morning, and I try to get there when they wake up so I can see them before I leave. And then when I come home, I'll do bedtime and 21st century dads are different dads. And I had this conversation with my cousin, and I'm gonna be careful how I say this, Megan. I'm gonna be careful how this
Yes.
lands.
No, I'm excited for you to say it. Go ahead.
I think because there wasn't the expectations for dads decades ago that we have now. And I think it's better because we should be sharing some of the burden. But I'm guessing that some of my, you know, family members and uncles and my dad, they probably didn't change diapers and just being plainly put. And they weren't expected to. Um, but we do all that. I mean, I've
Yeah.
changed diapers. Kid gets sick in the middle of the night. I'm washing towels, would vomit on them. I mean, that's the reality of parenthood. And I think dads should be involved. To a as much of a 50-50 split as they can.
You totally preempted my question, which just goes to show that you are an amazing producer. Because my next question was going to be like this new generation of dads. I
Yeah.
mean, we didn't necessarily, and this is not to slay our fathers at all, but we didn't necessarily grow up with this like stage of involvement. Um, my husband, very similar to yours, like so much so that the kids go to him when he's sick or when they're sick, and they're like, "Dad, Dad," and I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they're not coming to me. Um, but that may just say something about my caregiving. I may not be the best caregiver, but we are doing this at 50-50, and that was something you and I were chatting offline earlier. You look at this relationship of raising these little humans as a partnership.
Yeah, that's the bonus of being a mature dad is I don't have any FOMO anymore. Like all I do is work and then I go straight home and that's all I do there.
Mhm.
We talked about basketball. I do basketball Sunday morning, early Sunday morning, and that's kind of my thing. That's the one thing I do every week.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you're joking. I mean, I've met you several times. You've been here 100 times, and you have a very gentle spirit about you and stuff. And I do think this is just Ralph Garcia's opinion. But I mean, some people share this opinion, but women are that nurturing and caregiving. I think comes natural to them. I think the guys have to learn a little bit more.
Mm.
That's been my experience. And I think that's a gift y'all have. So shout out to all the moms. We just had Mother's Day, and I had a high school teacher once tell me that I don't know why this gets me emotional. I don't know, but there's no stronger bond in the world than mother and child, and that doesn't always even mean like biological. I mean mother and child, that's a sacred thing, and father and child too. But I think that mothers just naturally are just empathetic and warm, and the dads have to help in that way, but a different way too. And yeah, all the dads I know some good dads. Travis on my team is a great dad. Ron's
Yes.
a great dad. Frank's a great dad. We're all doing the things.
Okay, so I have to give you an award right now because
Okay.
usually what happens is nobody cries until the end of the show.
I know, I
And
know.
now we've had a tear up moment like minute five in whatever, I don't know, but at 18 now. So well done. Um,
That was my goal. I was like, how soon can we get to the tears here?
yes, well, and yeah, like, and you've seen me cry before. There was that
Yeah,
one time. Oh,
yeah, yeah.
would you like to share with the people about the one iconic um
Yeah. Well, Megan.
where Megan lost it and you even did something that was not characteristic for you? Would you
Oh,
like
I
to
don't I don't
share that
remember what I
story?
did, but I know that we had country music star, 90s country music star Dina Carter on the show. Strawberry Wine, anybody? That's one of her hit
Mhm.
songs. And I love that you always come on shows. Maybe it's because you come later in the week and we have later in the week's always a little bit more upbeat. Uh, but you come on shows with big stars and big segments and big guests. But Dina Carter was in the green room and then she was in studio in the segment. Um, and you kind of lost it in a good
I
way.
lost it.
And then Deborah called you up because, tears are TV gold. We always want to see those. Um, but obviously, she meant a lot to you. And I guess those songs meant something to you in the 90s, or just today.
Well, it was so bizarre, and I met her in the green room, and we had a whole conversation, but like she was like, "Oh, what are you here for?" And I'm like, "Oh, what are you here for?" And she didn't tell me her last name,
It
and I
didn't
was
click right away. It didn't click, right?
no, it took a
Yeah.
minute, and then I was like, "I'm sorry, what did you say your name was?" Because
She was,
I'm not always thinking, and anyway,
she was
so
very, I
just
wanted to say
to
she was very lovely, though. I mean, for somebody who's had that amount of success, not that you get a pass on being aloof or whatever, but she was just very, very
no,
sweet.
she
Yeah.
was, and I think what you nailed was that she had just such a spirit.
Sure.
And so this is what I remember about that is that you took a selfie after she came down. You're like, I
Oh,
never
yeah.
do this as a producer. It is like a golden
Yeah.
rule, and you totally got a selfie
Yeah,
with
I rarely pull the executive producer card, but I said this is one guest that because she was so warm to the entire crew that we went ahead and did it. I got a selfie.
well, you have the best crew, and so okay, that's just our little like segue. So, I guess what would you say to other dads out there? who are maybe thinking of expanding their family. Now, you guys did
Yeah.
it, like, you're in the threes. Like you have what, eight? You said eight, five, and three?
8, 5, and 2. Yeah,
Eight,
yeah.
five, and two. So you're like, I mean, and this is like a very intense stage.
Well,
What would you say to the dads who are thinking about starting a family, or they're like, should we have one more? Do we need the little baby girl? You know what I mean? I know
well,
that answer.
well, first of all, we're done with 3. Our heart is full. Plus, I can't have any more children unless I want to be like 92 at their high school graduation. So the mathing against me. It's like, why is your great great grandfather here at your graduation?
Stop.
Um, um, no, gosh, me now, you're always kind of the same person. I ask you, Megan. I mean, we're kind of the same people we were as teenagers and kids, and there are a lot of similarities, but then part of you matures and is completely different. And I always kind of joked, I don't know why, that I wanted 3 kids before I even met Julie. And
Hmm.
then it just ended up having 3 kids. So, I mean, you can manifest what you say there. But I would say to dads, I did think about this one, and hopefully I can explain it right. Um,
Okay.
kids, there's joy and happiness, and those are two separate things, and you got to be ready for that. So, like
Hmm.
with my kids, I'm always joyful. Like when I see them, whenever they're in my presence, or I think about them, just all day. Like I have full joy being a dad. There's a human, unbreakable connection that I have with them. My love is unconditional for them. It is without condition. There's nothing they could do to have me stop loving them. You know how that is as a parent. But I would say that you're this is hard because I think people are afraid to say this, but I'm gonna say it. You're not always swimming in happiness as a parent. There are hard times. I mean, like I said, just a few weeks ago, one of the kids was sick in the middle of the night and threw up off the side of the bed. You got to get up and clean that. When they're throwing tantrums, when they want something, when they are. My oldest is starting to talk to me about what's fair and not fair in life with his zero experience in life. He's trying to tell me what's fair and not fair, and I've lived a little, so all those moments are challenging, and those are not fully happy moments, and we have to be okay to say that. Most of the time it is, because I'm
Yeah.
always full of joy. But as a new dad or somebody wants to expand their family, you're always inviting more of that, and you're inviting the worry. We just talked about this at church this past weekend about not worrying all the time. I'm constantly worried, and what if, I'm trying to protect my children. And so I would say to new dads, know the difference between happiness and joy, and know how to temper your worry by leaning in on faith and family, and just making sure that you know what being a parent is. It's a full-time job.
Um, I love that clarification of happiness and joy because they are two different things and they can coexist. And then
Yeah.
the worry thing. So when you gave a great shout out to moms earlier and, the natural caretakers and whatnot, if I had to say, and correct me if I'm wrong, the dads you feel a pressure to perform, to
Yeah.
do, to work, to provide. Like we think of moms as like helicopter moms and we're like worrying
Yeah.
about like the minute. I feel like you guys are more encompassing of your worry. Is that accurate?
I
Or
think
am I
so. And
misspeaking
well, no,
here?
you're absolutely right, Megan. I mean, I think you'd have to ask 10 different dads and maybe get 10 different answers, but I worry, I think, just as much as Julie in a different way. It is that providing, protecting, I don't ever want them to be hurt. I don't ever want them to be sad.
Yeah.
Um, and those are hard things because we know in life that those things are going to come anyway, that those things will creep into their life, and you have to insulate that from them, but also prepare them for it. Like
Yeah.
always sometimes if Rafael or Jude, they have little problems with somebody at school. I mean, they're really good kids, but I always tell Julie, Ugh, that's their jungle. They're gonna have to figure it out. For me, it was humor. I was always able to make fun of myself. I think I'm a funny person, but I was always able to
Or-
guard myself with humor. Some people it's excellence in their talent, but to answer your question more directly, yeah, it's a lot of worry. But then it's counter. What's the word I'm looking for? It's the exact opposite of what we grew up with, and I'm a little bit older than you, but I grew up, my goodness, without seatbelts in the 80s,
Yeah.
riding in the backs of trucks, latchkey kid. I'd go home sometimes, maybe at an age I wasn't supposed to, where I'm alone for a little bit as an older kid. Uh, so I have to remind myself that I can't control everything. I can
Yeah.
just put these guardrails in place and pray that it ends up okay.
I love the word guardrails. And I think that's a lot of what my husband and I try to do too. Like we can give them guardrails and we like I don't have the energy nor the capacity, or I'm not at school with them.
Yeah.
So we have to just, you know, share what our family values are and hope they stay within it, the guardrails.
Yeah.
And
Megan, I'll ask you, do your kids, did they give you the fair and not fair thing? I mean, they're older than my kids. Did they give you their worldview and say this is fair, this is not fair?
I really hate to like ruin what's going to happen for you in like 7 years
Oh, that's all right. Yeah.
because the mental gymnastics is
Yeah.
wild. It is it is wild. And yes, they but they become more you have to keep up with them because
Yeah.
they become more they're watching the YouTube. We're raising the YouTube generation,
Yeah.
right? Of they're watching all these clips like of like how to talk to your parents and like and they think they're really smart and we're like you're still just
Yeah.
15. Um and but they but they're still really sweet. I do want to say that, but um, yeah, you you have to you're gonna have that mental fitness is what I'm
Yeah.
gonna say when they turn 15 or 16.
Yeah. And
It's
it's
intense.
hard because you see the goodness, like your kids, I don't know too much about your kids, but I know, your daughter plays basketball, they're hard workers, they're good kids at school, they're smart kids.
Yeah.
Um, and wait, remind me of their ages. You have twins, don't you?
Yeah, they're twins. They'll be 16
Okay.
by the time this episode comes out.
Oh my gosh. Sweet 16. How'd that happen?
No,
Uh,
no idea.
well, like my oldest, he's a high character kid. He's very much this is right and this is wrong. So like I love all that about him. He's very much like this is right, this is wrong, you should be doing this. So I mean, that's good. Every parent would want that. But then he's high on his own judgment of the world, like something this is I shouldn't say silly, as simple as he wants to play this video game, but his brother doesn't, and his brother's crying. So why should he have to play a different game? I said, well, the Switch is for both of y'all. So you have to figure that out. If you can't,
Mhm.
then y'all can't play at all. Well, how is that fair? I'm not the one crying. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like,
Ah.
in all your life experience, son, you're going to tell me what's fair and what's not fair. On the Switch that I bought with my money, by the way. You didn't buy that with your money.
I cannot wait. And okay, so in like 5 years, I'm gonna report back to you and we're gonna redo this, and you're gonna be like, let me just tell you something about something. And then mine will hopefully be in college and not jail. And I mean, there is the goal, but I think it's interesting too. I mean, and you have this where you're balancing different personalities. I mean, like just because two of mine were in the belly at the same time, they they're siblings. Like
Yeah.
they're totally different people. Way off the spectrum of one another regardless of the time they spent in the uterus. And so I think and also an interesting thing. Have you seen that like parenting, like especially I'm sure you're parenting the little one, the little girl a little bit differently, but based
Yeah.
on her personality and then the middle and then the oldest. I mean, have you
Yeah.
had to
Yeah.
tailor some of that?
It's all of the strictness I think came with Rafael, my oldest, and it's kind of like tapered off each kid,
Mhm.
a little bit. And the baby is a girl, so we'll see how that turns out.
She's
But
gonna run the world.
I
That's
know
what's
she already,
gonna
she already
happen.
does. But so your twins have different personalities. I'm interested. They have some similarities too, though, right? I mean, there's probably something they have in common.
They have, I think they both have my husband and I's drive, to be successful, productive members of society. Like
Yeah.
they take pride in that. They are both very smart. They're very caring. They love their people. My son is very, he's okay with just like staying home for a night
Yeah.
and, watching football or playing video games, most likely. Um, he gets all of his energy out at school. And then my daughter, like, it was constantly on the go. Like,
Yeah.
we're just trying to keep up with Quinn Clanahan's schedule. And she's she's a high achiever, but they're both high achievers in the same way. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
all it's a fascinating science experiment.
it is, but
We'll
you know,
see.
since we're talking about parents and dads, like don't discount. Somebody here told me one of our anchors here told me we were on a bus ride somewhere, but don't discount the mundane actions. You know, just showing up and doing what you do. If you have a career and you go to work, that's just setting the example of what work
Mm.
is and the value of that. If you're at home and you're a great caretaker, that talks about that value. You know, and you're a very nice person. I know you to be very nice, and I haven't met your husband. I'm assuming he's very nice as well. And so you've raised thoughtful, kind children, and that's a good thing. Julie and I always have a. I'm not going to cuss. I'm just letting you know I'm not going to cuss.
That's
But
okay.
we
We
always
can,
say
I
we
don't
always
care.
say one
My
of our goals
podcast.
is it's your podcast. One of our goals is just not to raise our kids not to be a-holes. You know, what I mean, like that's a win in itself. They don't have to be CEO of some major company, but just be a decent human,
Don't
to other
be a
people.
jerk.
Yeah.
No, and I think that again is part of kind of our generation. You joked about being older. I'm only 2 years younger than you, friend, or less.
Okay. You carry it well. All right.
I'm 46. And so I think that's a product of like we've seen so much jerkiness. And so like we just want to raise kind,
Yeah.
nice kids because we were products of like 80s jerks.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't
And just
know. I kind of want to say asshole. I will say it.
it's your podcast. But just
I'm not on the FCC list, so I don't have to worry about it. Is the FCC? Is that right?
yeah, it's a real thing, and there are rules and regulations that we have to abide by. By the way, for
Oh,
anybody listening to this, Megan told me said she just told me I'm surprised I haven't cursed on your show yet, which made me feel really comfortable about my 7 second delay that I have to have.
good.
So, or it's 5 second delay, sorry. Um,
No, I didn't know there was a delay.
there is just for that reason,
Relieved
because
to know that there's a delay now, but
yeah.
I'm going to just forget that I ever said that.
Okay, no, you're gonna be fine.
Um,
But yeah, no, it's an actual delay. The FCC, they can revoke a license. I mean, these
uh,
are these are things rules we have to play by on the broadcast.
uh,
It's different than the internet.
so
Yeah.
Ralph's gonna go to work tomorrow and be like, "Hey, I did this thing yesterday, and I don't know, Megan Clanahan might be a little unhinged."
Yeah.
Um, but I have not. Alas. Okay. One thing that we always do for this podcast, and I would love if you would do it for us, is to do a little rapid fire.
Sure, sure. We
And
could do rapid fire. So the synapse is it's a little bit later in the day. So if the synapses aren't firing fast enough for you, you can fix it in editing.
yeah. It's cute that you think we're gonna edit this all.
Okay. It is what it is.
This is a conversation, but
Okay.
yes, we can edit. But I agree. Rapid fire is not my strong suit because I tend to just like talk too much for rapid fire, but we'll try. I think I sent them to you in advance, but we'll see. Rapid fire, your favorite family friendly restaurant in
Okay,
Houston.
I did get a cheat sheet for some of these. Yeah.
Okay.
Um, so we actually don't go out to eat a lot. We have a family, we cook a lot, and Julie cooks a lot. But we have this place called Joe's Oyster Bar down the road. It's a little family restaurant, and yeah, that's where we go to Joe's.
Okay. So or do you do them like fried, grilled, or on the house shell?
Well, I'm the only one in the family that likes oysters. I like raw oysters personally.
Yeah.
I'll get those, but they also have like a great blackened tilapia there that I get almost every time. It's pretty good stuff, and they have like macaroni and burgers for the kids.
Okay, I love it. And your kids just be aware for the day that they come around to the raw oysters because
Yeah.
mine did all of a sudden, and then you're like $100 in the can. You're like,
Oh yeah. Well, we're all gonna have to split six of them, y'all. Half a dozen. Market
like
value is pretty
half a
high.
dozen. We went to Boston and like these oysters just flew, and we're like, do we need another dozen? Yeah, I guess
Oh,
we
they're
need
so
another
good. My
dozen.
wife doesn't like. She'll eat shrimp. She doesn't like a lot of seafood. So I'm like the seafood king of the family. But give me some raw oysters with some Tabasco sauce on it. Yum.
Okay, it was Joe's. Is this in Rosenberg? Where?
Yeah, yeah. It's in Rosenberg, near where we live in Rosenberg, and it's about a mile away from where we live.
Perfect. Never heard of it. We'll have to go. Um, okay, so you mentioned cooking a lot.
Yeah.
Favorite meal that Julie or you will make that everyone will eat. No, it's challenging
Yeah,
across.
Julie just cooks everything very well. I mean, she makes some great burgers. I know that's a dad thing, but she makes some great. She's great on the grill. One meal, I'm going to say a word you may never have heard of before, and that's okay.
Okay.
There's like a Mexican spaghetti that my mom used to make growing up. It's called fideo. You ever heard of like Fideo?
No.
Never heard of that word. Yeah, it's like a
Maybe.
Mexican spaghetti. It's like noodles and it has like some tomato sauce and you kind of fry the noodles with some butter and you put like tomatoes in it, maybe some hamburger meat. Oh, chef's kiss. You got to have some fideo at some point in your life.
Okay, but it's like the noodles are sort of like crispy. Like, how does that
Well,
work
no,
when it's fried?
you fry them with butter. I make it.
Okay.
My kids love my fideo. But you fry it with butter and then you put like some tomato sauce and can of tomatoes, some garlic. There's different, like every Mexican family, Mexican American family makes it differently. Like
Okay.
my grandma would boil the noodles and hers was good, but my mom would fry the noodles. And once you boil, after you fry the noodles, you do boil them with some water and it's like spaghetti. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Where did you grow up? San
San
Antonio?
Antonio.
Did you tell me
Yeah.
that? Okay.
Yeah. And
San
you see it at like it's the grocery stores. It's called it's like another word for it is vermicelli. Sometimes it's like in a yellow box.
Oh,
Uh,
I know vermicelli.
yeah, yeah, but this is we call it fideo. And so yeah, it's good stuff.
Okay. Well, I will have to tell my husband. So his family is all from San Antonio, like
Okay.
San Antonio born bred. And they make the best enchiladas.
Oh,
His
yeah,
entire
Julie makes
family. His grandma was like an enchilada master. So
oh yeah, I do like
um
enchiladas as well.
I will ask about the Fideo.
There
Fideo?
you go.
Fideo.
Fideo, you said it
Okay.
right.
Favorite place in Houston and take the kiddos.
Okay. This is gonna be kind of a two-part answer.
Okay.
We love the Houston Museum of Natural Science. Whenever we can get down there, the kiddos love it. I mean, it's just a phenomenal place. Houston just has the just great museum district in general. So there's that,
Okay.
and the zoo, that whole area. But I'm a child of the 80s, and I like malls. So
No.
I take my kids to the mall all the time. So when we lived near the city, we would go to Memorial City Mall. But we have First Colony Mall in Sugar Land, and
Yeah.
we make it a day. I take the boys to the mall. Sometimes I'll take Cece. We'll get pizza at the food court. They have a Barnes and Noble there. They have a green space. I just love the mall. I hate that like people don't go to malls anymore as much. So
Yeah.
yeah.
That is the cutest and most original answer I think we've had for this. But I'm with you. Do they still have Sbarro? They don't. Do they have Sbarro? The pizza by
It's
the
no,
fries?
I don't, it's definitely mall pizza. I don't know if it's a bar anymore, but it tastes just like it, and then,
Right.
we get like a smoothie there. I'll stop
Yeah.
by the Apple store for dad just to look around. Like there's so many things you could do at the mall. It's great. It's air conditioned. Yeah.
It's air conditioned. I do recall we lived close to First Colony when we first had the babies, and I just needed to get out of the house with them. And so I would just double stroll him and
Yeah.
take him through First Colony and like annoy all the people when I was like with my bus of children. And but yeah, no, I okay, let's bring back the mall.
Let's bring back malls.
I like it. So obviously, I know you kind of mentioned this sort of top of the show. Oh, look at me bringing in like TV lingo.
I love it.
You do it long enough. Um, but it sounds like basketball is like kind of what you do in your own time. Is there anything else that you
Yeah.
do like that's kind of your Ralph revitalization
Uh,
time?
yeah, I just think it's so funny. Like I have this insane love for basketball, playing it, watching it, talking about it, watching YouTube videos, and I'm just like I'm 5'8". Like it's like I'm not any good, but it's a good form of exercise. So yes, the basketball, but I also just love watching sports. I love watching, like your husband, probably some Aggie football. I don't do a lot of like Netflix series. I mean, I do watch some of that, but Julie watches shows more, like scripted stuff with a narrative. I just love watching and playing sports. It's just always been a thing. You don't have to be good at it. Any dads out there, just keep doing it. Don't stop. That's my
Yeah.
thing.
No, I think you're underselling yourself because you did make the shot.
I did make that one shot.
I can't wait for your kids to play sports growing. Like as they grow, it's going to be so fun to watch because um, you have that competitive edge. I know you do.
Yeah, I'm very
And
competitive.
so what kind of dad do you think you're going to be on the?
Well, I will say that I try not to push that on them because I don't want to be the dad that's trying to live my dreams through my kids, you know.
Yes.
Did tell them because I coached their basketball, if they didn't win the last game, that not only would they disappoint me, but our entire family. I just wanted to see if that helped motivate them. And we won, so maybe it did. That's a joke. That's a joke. It's a dad joke. But no, I try to talk to them about the importance of winning without saying that you have to win. Just try your best, that kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and I think it's more of the like, you don't have to be perfect, but we do need, like, I want you to always try to pursue excellence, whatever that looks
Yeah.
like. And if
Yeah.
sports isn't that, then that's totally awesome. Like do whatever you're driven to, but whatever you do, like I would like for you to do it with like your whole chest. I guess
That's a great
would
way to put
be
it. Yeah.
like, okay. This is gonna be like we already cried twice, Ralph, so I don't know how you're gonna handle this question. Um, so I have to ask everyone. It's usually favorite part of being a mom, but what is your favorite part of being a dad?
Yeah. And that's a challenging one, I think, because there are so many parts. And I will try not to get too emotional, but I love my kiddos. Let me start there. And I'm blessed that they are a part of my life. They make me a better person. See, you're getting me you're getting me going here. They make me a better person along with my wife because they give me purpose. And you know, a lot of times when you're young, you're just trying to find your purpose. So I know exactly what my purpose is. It's to raise these kiddos, to be good people. And my favorite part is maybe just, uh, I love milestones. I joke because we're a working family and we pay a ton of money for daycare because we don't have family here. Um, and I and like when Rafael graduated from pre-kinder, we pay all this money for this daycare. But we went to see him graduate from pre-kinder, and they had these songs prepared, and they're singing these songs, Megan. And I looked at Julie, I'm like, worth every penny right now. Worth every penny to see them sing these songs and have gratitude. So I love the milestones, all the grades, but I love also just getting home. I mean, we're gonna wrap this up. I'm gonna head home, and there's these kiddos there that love me, um, of course, depend on me, and I'm just part of their life. And not to get too real on the podcast, but I won't be here forever, you know. So, but while I am, I want to give them a real chance to do something just good and special in life, and then pass those values on to their kids, right? It's the full circle thing. So, yeah, yeah. We're gonna Zoom hug everybody. Yeah.
I am just thankful that we're taping this at a time where I can have a cocktail after.
Yeah.
Um, because that is his, yes,
Yeah.
purpose. And what I love is this again, this kind of new generational type of parenting from y'all is
Yeah.
that you can speak these things out loud and you're comfortable doing it. There's no more of this hiding emotions and feelings and like I appreciate you doing that and saying that.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you having me on the show. And just last thing is, just dads, you're not going to be perfect all the time. I mean, I lose my patience sometimes, I raise my voice a little bit, and those are it's okay. It's okay to have, Julie and I are always passing off. I'm like, Julie, I need 5 minutes. Can you take over? And so
Yeah,
I don't want to, one thing I don't want to give the impression of is that it's always peaches and cream.
yeah,
Um, and nor is it supposed to be. Anything in life worth doing is going to be hard. I stand by that. That's what I'm constantly trying to teach my kids is like good things are hard always, anything that's easy is okay, but it's not going to give you that fulfillment. It's something that's hard. So um yeah,
if
yeah,
it was easy, everyone would be doing it.
absolutely, absolutely.
And
So That's my favorite thing. And then getting to talk about them. I love talking about my kids. You gave me like 30 minutes of pure joy here talking about my kids. Love it. And being
Yeah. Well, it will live in infamy.
a
I'm so thankful that you took the time. And this isn't just fluff. I want to be clear. Um, Great Day Houston and the team that you have over there, and the team that you lead has been one of the biggest joys of my life. In the
Oh,
past 3 years or 4 years or whatever, however many years I've been going over there, um, there is not a morning that I walk in there that I'm not met with smiles. And I think that comes from the top. And I think that comes from your leadership. And I have to give shout outs to Travis and Connie and to Deborah and oh, I'm missing him. Well,
there's Hema and Carlos and Brianna and
Carlos,
yeah,
yes,
and
Brianna,
all of
and
them. Yeah.
who I ran into randomly last weekend. So weird. Houston is like the biggest small world, but thank you for always
Yeah.
making me feel at home at Great Day.
Yeah,
And
no, thank you for being on too, and just I love what you're doing here. I just got to say this, and all the people involved in your mom's blog because it's such an important job. There's almost nothing more important than being a parent, being available to your kids. So just thank you for doing this. We should
yeah.
have more of this. And so Houston Mom's blog. Hope you go national, international, world's mom's blog. All the
Yeah.
stuff. And so.
I think my kids would probably be so embarrassed. They're just like just in general. But
Yeah.
thank you so much for joining us. We wish you the happiest Father's Day. Whatever plans that you have. If I was a guessing person, you're going to spend it with your kids, right?
Been with my kids, and then I might get a little time to play basketball. Meet me at LA Fitness at the Alania location, 7 a.m. on Sunday. Yeah, if you
Okay.
want a middle-aged 5'8" shooter that isn't very good, then I'm your guy. So should be good.
Okay. So any dads looking for an activity, you know where to find Ralph. Ralph, thank you so much. Hang on here for 1 second. And guys, we will be back next month in July with we'll be a dad this time. We're gonna bring it back to Houston Moms on the Move. But we appreciate all the dads and the partners who are doing big things around our city and also at home and helping raise amazing little Houstonians. So thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next month.